What's up, my comic comrades? Today we're going to continue to break down my favorite event going on in comics right now, King in Black. But we're going to start off with a brief recap of Venom 33 as it ties into the main King in Black title. Followed by King in Black issue 4, the latest issue to be released. So clearly there's going to be spoilers for issues 33 of Venom and King in Black issue 4. If you need to catch up on the event, we have videos on all the previous issues which you could find right here. But now let's see how Earth's mightiest heroes are faring against the God of the Abyss. As I mentioned a second ago, let's start with a brief recap of Venom 33. The issue essentially elaborates more on the events that happened in issue 3 of King in Black. For instance, the book starts off giving us a more in-depth look at Spider-Man giving Dylan a pep talk, basically telling him, hey, I've lost my parents too. I've lost a lot of people in my life. People that I love. I know how it feels with the earth crumbling beneath your feet. Like the earth shouldn't still be spinning, but then it always spins. It just keeps spinning. The world keeps going. And it never stops asking things of you, never stops hitting, never stops knocking you down. And for so many, staying down and letting the hits wash over you is the only way to deal with it. But for people like me and you, we have the power to stop it. We can get back up. We can grab the world and slow it down. I wasn't much older than you when I put on the costume, when I decided to get back up. But I want to give you something no one ever gave me, a choice. I know Mr. Fantastic and the others keep saying that you're the only way out of this, that your powers can turn the tide. I don't know if that's true, but either way, your father told me to take care of you. So Dylan, listen to me. Please, trust me, you don't have to do this. I will protect you if you don't want to go out there. I will protect you from the world. But Dylan just looks at Spider-Man saying, I need to hurt something. And as we know from the last issue, Dylan proceeds to go out there and start wrecking shop against Knull alongside of Thor. We are then taken back to the hive mind with Eddie, Rex, and Flash. If you didn't read Venom issue 32 or watch our video on it, at the end of that issue, Agent Venom, aka Flash Thompson, returned inside of the hive mind to help Eddie. Anyway, Eddie then asks Flash, how are you here? I thought you died. Flash replies, not my codex. Doesn't work like that. Just because it was lost to you doesn't mean I was lost. We all end up back here, back in the hive. Flash then tells Eddie, I heard what you said at my grave about me, being a better Venom and a better man than you. Thanks. After a quick heart-to-heart, Eddie says, it's good to see you, Flash. Now how the hell do we get out of here? Meanwhile, we see Dylan wrecking shop on nullified Avengers, which again we saw in issue 3 of King in Black. Then back in the hive mind, we see that Dylan is systematically freeing the heroes from the hive. This starts opening up wounds, as Eddie says, where the walls are breaking down. He continues to say, guys, I don't think we're in the hive at all. I think we're like the others, the ones they just freed, just held here in stasis, in purgatory. Flash and Rex then ask, so if we're in purgatory, what's behind that wall, Eddie? He tells them, exactly what you think, fellas. It's either heaven or hell. And when he walks through, it reveals it's essentially the latter. We then learn that this hell of sorts is actually the central nervous system that connects all of the symbiotes in the universe. The eye at the center of the storm, the God Hive. Eddie then says, those symbiotes, the ones in cages, they've been cut off from the hive. Their connection severed by Dylan and Thor above. There's a reason Knull has them in cages. If we can get to them, I think we could bond with them, the way my symbiote is able to absorb Flash's codex. Long story short, Flash volunteers to be the one to go down there to free them, telling Eddie, you go get your symbiote and end this bastard. Flash then goes down there, guns a-blazing like Rambo, ultimately breaking the symbiotes out and downloading his codex into one of them, forming into a massive Agent Venom dragon. But when Eddie says, Rex, he did it, this is our chance, Rex then grabs him by the back of the neck saying, oh, I'm afraid your friend Rex is gone. Now Eddie, why does this seem so familiar? As we see that Knull has done something to Rex and is now grabbing him by the back of the neck, holding him over the side of a cliff, mirroring what he did to him in issue 1 of King in Black, as the comic ends. And that's our brief recap of Venom issue 33. Now it's time for the main event though, the meat and potatoes if you will. King in Black, issue 4. Issue 4 of King in Black starts off with several symbiotes saying to Dylan, wake up child, it's time, do not be afraid. And then on the next page, we see Dylan is saying, stop it, get out of my head. With Knull saying, calm yourself child, I am not here to hurt you. My hive, my rebellious children, you are special, something new. They made you to destroy me. Now remember this is all happening because at the end of issue 3 of King in Black, Knull defeated Thor and Dylan despite their valiant effort. Anyway, Knull continues to say to Dylan, but as you could see, that will not come to pass. Your champions have fallen. This planet is mine, and you have failed. Meanwhile, a voice speaks to Dylan saying, Dylan, can you hear me? I am a friend. I don't know how much longer I could hold this connection open, but I need you to listen to me. I could get you out of here. Knull has made a mistake bringing you here. You can use him, use your powers to break into his hive. And all this is going on while Knull continues to tell Dylan, you do not have to die like the rest. You're special to me. You are in many ways my son. But this mystery person talking to Dylan says, you could do this. Focus. Listen to me. You could tap into his powers with yours. You could use him as an antenna to control. But Dylan just says, shut up, I got this. Knull then tells Dylan, I will give you the darkness. Together we will end this world. Join me or I will burn this world to the ground. So Dylan gives Knull his hand saying, you killed my dad. as he does what the voice told him to do, uses his powers to free Earth's mightiest heroes from the hive mind. The voice then tells Dylan, I know it hurts, but keep going, keep pushing, just a few more to go. We only get one shot at this. Fire and sound don't hurt the symbiote, but I have a plan. We will need lightning and magic. The voice then reaches out to Doctor Strange saying, Doctor Strange, can you hear me? He says, yes, I could hear you. The voice then says, I came as fast as I could. Now listen, I'm downloading a battle plan into your head. This might hurt. Black Cat, who's also free, then gives Strange his staff. Strange then says, there appears to be a rather intense plan forming, and I, for one, am quite tired of sitting on the sidelines. Knull believes himself a god, while 2 can play that game, as he slams his staff to the ground, becoming the god of magic. Now, for those of you asking, Doctor Strange is the god of magic now? Yes, a little while ago, during Donny Cates' Doctor Strange run, Doctor Strange became the god of magic. And his staff is made of the World Tree, which kind of acts like Donald Blake's walking stick. When he smacks it, he transforms. So yes, Doctor Strange is literally a god now, but that's for another time. This mysterious person then starts talking to everyone saying, okay, linking everyone now. As this person links Cyclops, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, Doctor Strange, and Thor saying, on my mark, go, as they all release their powers, breaking free from Knull's hive. This voice even calls Namor, telling him he's up, as he creates massive waves to drown the symbiote Celestials. All while Spider-Man is like, guys, did I miss a meeting or something? This voice tells Spider-Man, get out of there, incoming. And as he swings away, he says, now you tell me. This mystery voice continues to give orders saying, we're clear, Storm, Thor, light it up, to which they say, my pleasure. Meanwhile, Knull is in pain because he's currently being defeated, but certainly not out for the count, as he grabs Dylan saying, you think you can beat me, child? Wound me through my hive? Do you think you won? But you have not beaten me, boy. You are alone, and no one is coming to. But before he could finish his sentence, that mysterious voice interrupts saying, actually, that's where I come in. I don't believe we've been introduced. My name is Jean Grey. Now let's see what makes you bleed. That's right, my homegirl Jean freaking Grey has been that mysterious voice this entire issue, rallying the heroes and slowly guiding them to victory. After Jean reveals herself to Knull, she proceeds to look through his mind. And as she looks through, she sees his origin and birth. And she says to herself, cold. I can't find anything that hurts him. He forged the darkness, bent it to his will. He's beaten everything. Oh God. There's nothing we can. She then stops and says, wait, there's another. A reaction, an opposite. Knull, he's the god of the abyss, but he is not the darkness. The dark, it existed long before him, and with the darkness, there is a light. It rose up against him. It bonded itself with warriors to rage against him. The light, it was sentient, alive, gave this army unimaginable power. But it wasn't enough. The light, it was young then, overwhelmed by the darkness, stretched too thin, and so it became something new. It would choose a single being in all the universe, bond with them, make them better, make some powerful enough to stand against the dark. Jean continues to say, oh God, it's a symbiote. It's its opposite, a god of light. Unless Jean then starts to pass out while Cyclops runs over to her saying, Jean, what is it? She just tells him it's here, the god of light. It's here trying to get in, but it can't. It's trapped. I could hear it screaming. At which point we see Silver Surfer in Earth's atmosphere saying, I am here. I see the light. It cannot break through. They cannot pass through the barrier. As he grabs the light and puts it inside him saying, but I can. He then proceeds to break through Knull's symbiote wall that's covering Earth. The light then continues to tear through Knull's dragons as he screams no. Silver Surfer then stops tearing through several of the dragons with the light saying, oh, I see you are not here for me. Go then and find your warrior, as he sends the light to find its chosen one. The light then ends up in Mr. Fantastic's hand, who is standing by Eddie Brock's bedside. Reed then says, oh my God, Jean, these readings, this energy source, you're right. It behaves like a symbiote. It always has. This god of light, I know what it is. We all do. We've just been calling it by the wrong name. Captain Universe. Finally, the Enigma Force solved. And as Mr. Fantastic finishes his sentence, it leaves his hand and enters Eddie Brock's body with the Force saying, Edward Brock, you have been chosen. As we see him rise and hover over his bed, becoming, as we've called it all these years, Captain Universe. But as this issue revealed, in actuality, it's the God of Light. And that, my friends, is how the issue ends. Well, those are some crazy revelations. One, the end of issue 3 led us to believe that Silver Surfer was gonna be the God of Light and or the person to defeat Knull. Heck, up until the last 2 pages of issue 4, we still thought that. Literally, the light entered Silver Surfer, but only temporarily to get to its actual chosen one, which was Eddie Brock. But now that Captain Universe and or the Unipower has been brought into play, it makes all the sense in the world, because if you know anything about it, its whole purpose is protecting universal balance. So again, it makes total sense that this would be the light, as they're calling it. So that's all kinds of crazy, but then we have Jean Grey pulling all the strings and guiding the heroes to even get to this point. And lastly, which I already said, but I have to say it again, Eddie Brock becoming the God of Light and or Captain Universe or Cosmic Venom. Whatever you want to call him. This guy is now the opposite of Knull, meaning the next issue, issue 5, the finale of this series, is going to be an epic showdown of the light versus the dark. Eddie Brock versus Knull. And you know we're going to be talking about that right here as soon as that issue drops. But anyway, like I always say, I'm absolutely loving this event. It's great. What else do you want me to say besides go read it if you haven't already? Like, what are you waiting for? Go do that. But other than that, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings today's episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's King in Black episode, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, as always, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps the channel out. But I will see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.